Good evening. Happy Tuesday night, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are having a great week. So we'll give it a couple minutes to see who's here. We've got Uncle Smiley here first. Davo's joined us. So just give it a few moments and then we'll go ahead and jump into it. Um, so hello, Peplin. How are you? So the Keystone Clash is coming up. Kind of definitely looking forward to that. So this got me. Peplin kind of reminded me. So that's going to be a fun time. So uh, so there's been a lot going on. Chelsea's still doing great at college. But playing in a golf scramble this weekend, or not this weekend, but actually on Thursday, and got the fish club meeting that day as well. So that'll be a fun day on Thursday. This weekend we're going to head up to Michigan State for family weekend. So got a lot going on this week. But I think I've kindly, we kind of talked last week, kind of how I was in a kind of like a fish funk, I guess, for the summer. I seem to have come out of that. I think I just needed a good day to just kind of spend a lot of time working in the fish room and doing some things. But I think I've kind of got back into fish mode a little bit. I think this summer I kind of lost a little bit of fish mode, but definitely really kind of pumped everything back up. It looks like we've got Jonathan G here. Welcome. Also AJ. Thank you for joining the replay crew. And then, so Dave said he enjoyed the tub teardown video. That was a very long video to make. Definitely did take a while, but glad you guys enjoyed it. The views on that were pretty good. So I think, being, 3 minutes in or so, I think we can go ahead and kind of start kind of talking about tubbing season. We'll talk a little bit more, and I'll show you the fish and kind of how they're doing once we go out to the barn. But tubbing overall, it was kind of, I'm going to say it was a success, but it wasn't like a rousing success. I mean, everything lived. It really didn't have any losses, which was a great thing. But unfortunately, like we didn't make as many fish as I would have hoped. So a lot of the experimental fish sort of failed. I mean, they didn't really fail, but I really didn't get any fry from the fish that I was experimenting with. But I mean, that's kind of was part of the point, was to see if I put them in a different environment and like in a larger tub with a lot of space, will they breed, and were they spawning before just eating fry? And honestly, I really don't think they were ever breeding, because like a lot of those fish, even like the platies and stuff that I put out too, like we're not really breeding for whatever reason. I see Steven's here. Welcome. Yeah, so it was just one of those. It was kind of like some of it was really good, like the Chapalictes and Causis, which I'll show you in the barn. That was a really good spawn. That was a really, there's always, I think every tubbing season there's a tub that makes it all worth it, and that was the tub for me this year. I mean, those fish, like quadrupled their numbers. I was pulling fry out. That tub took me probably a good hour to work on, and it was like the second to last tub I took down too. So I was super tired, and I'm like, hey, I got to keep, I got to make sure I kind of lock in here to make sure I don't lose any fry. But that was a win. And then the kind of surprisingly, the Xenotoca melanosoma were kind of a quiet win. Those are always understated fish, but I think I do have a few more. They don't generally spawn a ton for me, but they do kind of plod their way along. And I do think kind of in the tub weight with the tubs too, I do think the rock piles was a big win. I think that was a good spot to, for the fry to hide in. When I was catching out the Chapalichthys, I was getting a lot of fry from the areas where the rock piles were. So that was definitely, I think, a worthwhile strategy and one that I'm going to employ more and more in the fish barn as we go forward. And I've already kind of done that in a couple of the tanks. I really haven't shown you kind of over the summer because there really weren't fish in them. But now there's fish in there. I'll kind of show you those tanks and kind of explain what's going on with those. And then kind of like, kind of moving forward from tubbing season, I kind of have debated, kind of as time has gone on here, in the last couple of weeks since I've taken them down. Did I make the right decision, or did I kind of, could I have waited longer? And I'm kind of on the fence. From a time standpoint, it's always, I think I'm generally more comfortable taking them down like Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend. But I'm also, next year I might actually try to push some of them a little more. Definitely not all of them. There's some fish, even a couple of the Gideids, I won't push kind of past that date. But I think there's a few that I can push maybe kind of close to October. And maybe actually kind of add them towards the beginning of May, so I can get an extra couple months of tubbing season in for those particular fish, because I think they'll do fine in those tubs. I mean, the first tub I took down of the Gideid tubs, it was absolutely freezing in the tub when I went to take it down. So, I put my hand in there, and I mean, it was kind of painful to actually feel around and try to get the fish out and take all the rocks and everything out. It just kind of hurt, honestly. It was cold enough, which generally for me is kind of like the low 60s. So, so that was, I might try to, like I said, next year I might try to push it a little bit more. One thing I am going to do for sure is I am going to focus a little bit more on species that I know actively breed. And I'll show you a couple of those, kind of where my thoughts are once we go outside. But there are some, there are definitely some fish I really want to push their breeding on. I think, as I've kind of gone through this year, one of my goals is to kind of build up numbers of fry and, numbers of adults and kind of get bigger communities of fish. I've done a lot of experimental breeding where I've bred a few, but I really want to focus on increasing the numbers. And I think doing tubs outside with, some of the Pasilids that breed a lot for me and some other fish would really kind of help push that a little bit. So that's something I'm going to definitely focus on going into next year. And then, the other thing is I don't know yet if I'm going to do as many tubs. I might purchase next year. I might go out and buy a couple more 100-gallon totes, but maybe do fewer. I really kind of did like the under the garage, under the barn awning tubs. Those seem to do pretty well. I think one thing I did learn too is I kind of really like water lettuce. That really seemed to do quite well for me. The tanks that were the tubs where the water lettuce was living was actually very clear, and I kind of enjoyed that. And that kind of provided, I think that plant, it's kind of a weed, but really does a pretty good job of filtration. So it's like a big duckweed, I guess, and sort of does a pretty good job of kind of filtering out the water. So, hey Zen, hello 3G, hello Foxy, sorry to be ignoring you. But yeah, so that's kind of like my sort of take on, on tubbing season. So I'm kind of looking forward, I'm already looking forward to next year. Like I said, I may push it some. I know there's a couple Gideids I could push it for sure. There's one for sure I won't. The Melanosoma, the Xenotoca Melanosoma, those do not really like it that cold. They seem to not do very well, and they get very reclusive when it gets colder out too. You won't see them, at all. Like they'll just hide in the rocks and kind of just hang out, and they'll almost be like a Pasilid that way, and they'll just, but. Yeah, but if you get, I have to heat those in the winter, and once I started doing that, they actually came out and did a lot better. So, It was definitely starting to get cold for those, as we took them down. So, and hopefully next year the weather will be a little bit better too, because it seemed to we seemed to really it got a late start to tubbing season, and then it kind of had a quick ending too. It kind of burned real hot for most of the summer, and then there was really no gradual teardown. It was just kind of went, okay, it's cold now. I did hear that the weather is supposed to be warming up a little bit, so hopefully that will, for the people who still have tubs outside, hopefully that's a good thing for you guys. But it's been in the 60s. It's been pretty cold and kind of unseasonable for this time of year. Usually it's kind of in the mid 70s or so for September, and it's been kind of October-ish. But hopefully we get the couple weeks of second summer or whatever they call it. So with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and run into the fish game, and then we can do we can go ahead and head outside. So and then Zen apparently is having breakfast for dinner. Definitely a good choice. That's definitely something I would be a fan of. I generally, breakfast is actually kind of like my favorite meal. I always like a good, sausage, egg, and cheese bagel, or the normal eggs, or egg, sausage, bacon, kind of breakfast. So, Foxy says has guppies and axolotls and ponds outside. Guppies will be coming in before the clash. Axolotls still have a long time. Yeah, those probably would do pretty well outside, actually. So, yeah, I could eat breakfast for every meal. Like my go-to favorite meal is, there's a place that I went to in college, and then they still have some around here. It's called Bruegger's Bagels, and it has the best everything bagel. I always get the sausage, egg, and cheese on the everything bagel, and it is absolutely outstanding. Even 30 years later, that is still my favorite breakfast. So, I got Chelsea hooked on that too. She kind of likes those too. She doesn't like the everything. She says it's too much everything bagel for her, but yeah, she does pretty good. She's pretty good about that. She likes the whole wheat. Is generally her kind of go-to. So I guess we'll kind of talk in chat. I guess what's your go-to bagel? I mean, do you want yeah. What's your go-to bagel? I guess is it everything? Is it Asiago? There's salt. So put in the chat, I guess, while we're playing the fish game, what your favorite bagel is. So as we pull the fish game up, I'm going to show you a picture too from way back in the day. So let me pop that up real quick. And then, all right. Yeah, so I agree with Foxy with the everything bagel. So this picture was taken a long time ago. I actually think this was 2008, maybe, or 7. This might be 2007. So this was taken at a saltwater aquarium conference, which was called MACNA. It stands for the Marine Aquarium Club. It was the Marine Aquarium Clubs of North America. Sorry, drew a blank. But it was, this was at the banquet. This was absolutely outstanding. And these shows were absolutely off the chain. From an aquarium show, unfortunately, they don't have them anymore. And I think, with the pandemic and everything, money kind of dried up for them. But these blew Aquashella away. I mean, I'm not talking shade about Aquashella, but in its heyday, the MACNAs were absolutely off the chain. So what they would do is they would have, you could literally, for every hour of the weekend, there was three different speakers, all different saltwater topics. You can learn about corals, fish breeding, lighting, all kinds of different things. It was very, yeah, it was very, very good. And then, like, they were always at a really, really nice hotel or nice venue. This one was in Orlando, at one of the convention centers in Orlando. There was one in Miami that was literally at a hotel that was on the beach on the ocean. And you know, on like Friday night they had like these fire performers, and you know, it was open to everybody. It wasn't open to just the vendors and people like that. It was open to absolutely everyone who paid for a ticket to the show. And then they had a really nice banquet. You know, generally, you know, your typical banquet food like a steak or a chicken or whatever, right? But this was absolutely 100% one of the best aquarium shows the best aquarium shows I've ever been to. I've not, like, the smaller ones are fun too. Like, I really do enjoy the smaller, like, club aquarium shows, like the ALAs, when it's just kind of like the ALA. The Triple Crown was good too, but these, just with the amount of knowledge and amount of speakers, along with, like, and the vendor room was huge too. It was like an Aquashella style vendor room, along with all of the speakers. Like, you could go to three separate rooms with different speakers, and it was just absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, the gentleman on the far right, who's the father of the girl that's next to him, he unfortunately passed away. And I actually have one of his tanks in the fish barn. The tank that kind of has the the that has the what is it? It has the kind of the mixed Tanganyikans in it. So that is not a high school photo. We could find one of those. I'll have to dig in my Facebook. That is a, I don't know if that's a no, Chelsea was very little then, I think. And then the one thing I didn't mention with this, the raffle at the end of it was absolutely insane. It was literally like a 3 hour long raffle, and it was awesome prizes like Vortex, which are like $600 a piece. People would they would give away pairs of clownfish, lights, and at the end of it, you could win like a really huge, nice dream style tank. Like, it would be like a 400-gallon tank with a beautiful wood stand, the sump, the skimmer, all the materials to go with it. And for whatever reason, we seemed to win a lot of stuff in that raffle. I mean, I won a Vortex one year. I've won clownfish. Won all kinds of stuff. So it was an absolutely amazing raffle. And she actually, and there's a story to this, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but she actually won a trip to Fiji to visit like a fish collecting operation. But unfortunately, like, she didn't end up going. Trying to remember, I don't want to get the story wrong, but I think there was something happened with it, and with the company that was sponsoring the trip, where she wasn't able to go, which was completely and utterly, like, unfortunate. Like, that would have been like the absolutely most awesome dream vacation, and she couldn't go because, like, the company kind of like went belly up kind of after the show. So like it was that kind of level of stuff. So Steven said, yeah, this looks like a high. That is not, like I said, 2007. Yeah, that was kind of beginning of kids. So I'll go through this real quick with bagels because I missed that. So Uncle Smiley likes the blueberry bagel, Peplin's onion. MNC makes his own bagels sometimes, which is cool. I'm not much of a cook. I really don't like to spend the time to cook. Like, I'll make stuff on the grill. And then Steven likes the onion bagel with modest toppings such as butter and eggs. And then basically any sort of meat. So bacon, sausage, steak, and other animals. So let me see. So MNC makes Italian bread as oh wow, that's cool. Made a few loaves of Italian bread. Um, and then he's making chorizo pizza, which is good. And then we'll find the high school photo real quick before we head out to the barn. So with that, let's go ahead and check out the fish game. So this is basically Are They Basic? A non-fish keeper's view to the fish we keep. I think right now in the chat, I think a lot of you are veterans of this, but I'll go through it real quick anyway. So basically, we'll guess what my daughter thinks of the fish. 1 being basic, 10 being cool. And after a few moments, I will go ahead and show you her answers. Kind of funnily, actually, I guess funnily is a word. It's kind of funny, but she actually responds faster now that she's in college, an hour and a half away than she did when she was in the house. Like, I'll send her the pictures on, like, Sunday, and she'll have them back to me within, like, 15 to 20 minutes. And then when she was living here, I sent them to her, and then it'd be, like, 2 days later, and I might get them back, like, before the stream started. So that's been kind of an interesting change. So with that, we'll go ahead and we'll start out with the silver hatchet fish. So let me know what you guys think of the what she thought of the hatchet fish. So Steven's got 3. So we got Uncle Smiley with 4, Zen with 4, Davo with 4, Jonathan G's got 4. Yeah, kind of a smaller crowd tonight. I kind of figured that since we weren't giving anything away, but so he's a renegade with the 3. So we'll give it a couple more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and we'll flip it over here. So she gave it a 4. So it looks like the peer pressure won on this one, 4 out of 10. So moving on to the next one, we've got the archer fish. This was a fish I always kind of wanted to get, and not for. Oh, the green screen looks a little bad. So, all right, not for reasons that I would think, but I lost my train of thought. So Jonathan's got 5. I kind of want to get them so they would like shoot at people that lived in our house. So like, I kind of wanted to set them up in like the kitchen, and have them shoot like the cats, and have them shoot my kids. Have them shoot my wife, and just for fun, to see what just out of the blue, this fish squirts water at you. I always thought it was fun when Corey had them, and they like would shoot pellets out of the auto feeder he had set up for them. I really kind of enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of cool. So I always just kind of enjoyed watching those when he had those in his 800-gallon tank. So hello, Jacob Mahaffey, 858 Aquatics. I don't know if I've seen your name before, so welcome. Thank you for coming. All right, we'll go ahead here and we'll flip that over. She gave that a 3, and so Steven got that one. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. Sorry, I went too far up. Yeah, no one got that one. So she was not down with the archer fish for whatever reason. So up next, I believe this is like a rainbow darter. I pulled these a couple weeks ago, so I do apologize if I don't remember exactly what they were. So Ah, okay. So welcome, Jacob. Thank you for lurking. So yeah, people. Yeah, that was not a popular pick, it seems. So yeah, Rainbow Daughter. Okay, my my native fish game is not strong at all. So give it a get a couple more seconds here, and then we'll go ahead and flip it to this one right here. So basic rating on this one's 4 out of 10. So yeah, so she didn't really like this one either. And since while we're at it, we'll go ahead and give away some more memberships. So donate some memberships. So we got one for Jacob, got one for Cheryl, Gravedigger Aquatics, Monster Fish Gal, and Evan Nolan. So so hopefully they see those. A lot of times with the members, I'll put the videos out early. So I'll have to, this week I'll probably put one out early, probably like on Thursday. And then one thing I would highly recommend you go watch is go watch my talk that I give on Gudeids. So go watch that towards the. It's back a few months now, but go find that video and definitely watch that talk. I mean, I thought it was probably one of the best ones I've done of that talk. So it's about 45 minutes long or so, but there's a lot of good information in that. So yeah, I'll have to relook it up on Shutterstock and see what it is, but it's pretty wild looking. And I try to do that sometimes. I try to find some wild looking fish just to see what she would think of it. So we have the other hatchet fish, the marbled hatchet. All right, so we've got a couple fives. Davo's got 4. Jonathan G's got 6. Jacob Mahaffey's got 5. Zen Ginger's got 6. So I'll give you guys a couple more seconds to guess, and I'm going to look up. It's going to take me a hot second to do it, but I'm going to look up the high school picture. So I'm just going to have to. It's going to take a minute. All right, so with that, we've got a 7. So she gave this one a very high rating, so no one got that one. So I gave that one. Foxy jumped in with an 8 right at the last second. So, all right, moving on to the next fish here. Got the tetra. So I'll find a way. see what you guys are ranking that. So Zen's got 8. Jacob's got 8. Uncle Smiley's got 7. Steven's got 8. Jonathan G's got 8. Davo's got 7. Foxy's got 5. Give it a couple minutes or a couple seconds here, and then we'll flip over real quick, and I'll show you a couple pictures. So of a lot younger version. So basic ranking out of this one, 5 out of 10. So looks like Foxy got that one, and that was it. So I might need to flip screens for just a moment, and then we'll do magic that we need to do here to look at. All right, so that. All right. Just give me 1 second. All right, so that picture right there is college graduation. So I was a lot skinnier back then. So that was 1998. So that's when I graduated college. So this is my dad's Facebook. So we're gonna flip quickly if I can find a high school one. My dad takes a ton of pictures on here. So let's go quickly, and hopefully I can find a high school one without this being a complete and utter crap show. Look at a bunch of pictures of my dad. So hold on a second. We're gonna flip the camera back for a second. Give me 1 second here. I'll find a high school one too. Just give me 1 second. All right, flip. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Keep you guys flipping, waiting here. There has to be like a high school one in here somewhere. I found the college one like 4 times now. Maybe if I go to my page, I bet you it'll be easier. All right, we're back to. There's a bunch of old ones. This is an ancient one. So we got Monster Fish Gal is here. Welcome. So that's high school. That was National Honor Society. I used to wear glasses, which I despise now, but there's a few other ones in here too. That was college playing hockey. That was a lot of fun. I have a lot of memories from that. And then that was like a Halloween. That was another college picture. That's not college, obviously. That's like a long time ago. Don't even remember when that was. So that's high school. That might be the National Honor Society thing too, because I remember him. That was little me, like a long time ago. Give a couple more. That was my sister. So this was high school graduation. My senior year, I got contacts finally, so I wasn't decided to, like, I don't know, glasses didn't fit me very well, but that was my grandfather. That was the house that we lived at back at that time. So that was the leaner, meaner, a lot younger me. So with that, we'll go ahead and head out to the barn now. So we took a little trip down memory lane for a second, but hope you guys enjoyed that. So we'll get the barn cam going here, and then we'll head outside here in just a second. So Foxy did say she was in NHS. Yeah, Chelsea was too. But she quit it after like the first year because they like the rules the school had were like kind of ridiculous. Like every school around our area made the kids do like 10 hours, and here they had to do 50, and she got like some letter because the school didn't track how many hours they had, and they were like, "Hey, you didn't do enough hours. You're on like probation." And she's like, "I'm just done." Like, and literally they had to do like 50 hours a semester or something. It was some ridiculous number of hours. It was like, and you couldn't do them outside of the school. You could only do like 5 hours outside of the school. For our auctions, we get one of the local high schools to help us run bags and stuff, and it works out really well. But for whatever reason, like they wouldn't let them do it because it's like, oh, they have to do it the hours in the school. I'm like, that's kind of dumb, but whatever. So, anyways, let's go. I'll head out to the barn. So I'll flip the screen over here, and you can see some Chapalicles pardalis. Not a tub fish this year, but one that I could possibly put in the future. So we'll flip that over and let you guys have a look at these. All right, so we're in the barn. So can I get an audio video check real quick? And then we'll go ahead and I'll show you the tub fish. We'll start upstairs, and then we'll go to the bottom and take a look at all the tub fish. All right, cool. Thank you, Zed. Let me go free the camera, and we'll start kind of showing you. All right, so we've got this first one here. This is the Xenotoka lion's eye. like I said in the video, these didn't spawn in the tubs, but I did have a very gravid female. So I did put her in a 2-gallon tank, so I'll show you the results of that. So she did drop her fry. You can see there's probably a good 5 or 6 fry in here at least that are out of the guppy grass. There could even be more in the guppy grass, so hopefully we've got a pretty good good group going here. So since we're here, one thing I did do is I have to clean this tank out. Obviously it looks kind of terrible, but this was covered in duckweed, so I've got the shop vac out here, and I've been kind of working again on the duckweed, kind of getting things kind of back in order in here. Turning around here, the rainbow fish actually still look pretty good even after being outside in the tub. And unfortunately, it looks like we've got a casualty on the one of the other fish, unfortunately. So I'll have to take care of that in a minute. But rainbow fish looks good. And I left those in with the bulldog Gadaeans right here. Looks like we lost one of them now, unfortunately. So we'll have to. That's too bad. All right, here, these are the Alodontes Tamazule. Those showed no ill effects at all from coming in from the tubs. I do kind of cold turkey fish when I bring them in. I don't really like drip acclimate or do anything like that. I mean, I do let them come to temperature though. Like the tubs were pretty cold, so I let them sit in here for a good while, and then I let them, and then I kind of let them get up to temp, and then I brought them and put them away. So, so that's the those are the Alodontes Tamazule. Hello, SD Catabulis. So this is the Xenotoca variata. Obviously, some of these didn't go in the tub, some of them did. There's one that's kind of a messed up tail that I brought in from the tubs, but hopefully that'll heal up and not be an issue. I think that's it for up here. Since we're up here, though, I do want to talk about some things before we go downstairs. Some fish I do kind of want to put out next year. Oh, I didn't show you these. So this is the these are the double sword guppies. They went exactly back in the same tank they came from, and I think they've dropped again too, because I see some more little fry in here that I didn't see before. So these guys dropped again, which is pretty cool. So hopefully I can get a pretty good colony going of these, and at some point maybe sell a few of them. Same with this one. I actually might bring some of these to the Keystone Clash. These red volcano antlers, I might bring like a trio or something. You know, not a huge number of them, but you know, bring at least like a a bag of them, like a male and a couple females, and maybe a few fry for someone. But these might be one I might put outside too. These were outside in the past. Might do these again. These blue panda guppies. I think for now that's all the fish upstairs. Like I said, I did some more duckweed work on this tank. So this is the Cracodon Audax from Los Pinos. You can see, the male there. This tank's a lot brighter now that you've got the duckweed out. I'm going to add some more of this rock work in here. We talked about earlier, how I was using this to protect fry. So I'm definitely going to dump some more rock work in here. There's a little male right here from some of the fry that were born kind of back in February. And there's another one right there, actually. He's got a little more red on him. Kind of digging that. Hopefully he'll brighten up a little bit. So I may put out these Xenotoca Dodroi too. There's kind of a billion of these. kind of in and out of the guppy grass. So and since the tubs got these started, I actually might do the Xenotoka Eiseni again too. These went out last summer, spawned pretty nicely for me. This is kind of the big group that I have, and then they kind of have kept going since then. So you can see even like if you look closely here, you can see all the little fry now. So these guys have been breeding ever since they've come back from the tubs. It took me, 2 years to get these to spawn, and put them outside, and then they've they've been gangbusters ever since. So something triggered them being outside. So, and I might do like a rainbow fish or some sort of like egg layer too. Like I might do like these glow light danios, maybe something like that too. Just experiment with something different. One that will not be going out ever in the tubs will be these. These I will not risk putting outside. The Hawaiian Variatus really didn't do much outside in the tubs, but there they are. I think I lost like one, but I never saw any fried. These have bred for me before, and then they kind of didn't. So, and then moving over here, these are the Xenotoka melanosoma that I was talking about earlier. This is the rock work that I put together for them to hide in. And then you can see, let me see if I can get rid of the glare here. But there, there's one of them right there, one of the adults. Some more juveniles. Like I said, I kind of thought the population of juveniles increased, so that was something that made me kind of happy. So hopefully we can get some more spawning and get some things going with those. Because those are a super rare fish, and not a lot of people have those. So, and you can see they're kind of reclusive. Like you see, there's one hiding it right there. The little ones kind of come out more. You can see them here, but the adults really don't come out much. This is one I might do next year. I might try the Scyphia multipunctata in the tubs. That might be a good one to play around with. And then this is the Chapulixes and Caustus. You can see the adults there, and then there's probably a good like 20 fry or so in here, like just various spots kind of swimming around in here. You see a couple there. And they've put on a fair amount of size. Like when I put these in, there was literally there were no little fish like this. They were all just the big ones. So these guys have really done quite well. And then, like I've said, I put the rock work in here for these guys to kind of hide out in. And then I put some in the back too. So I might even add some more. But this was kind of the big win from tubbing season. This is one of my favorite Gadaean species. I'm actually going to bring one of these to the fish show for the Keystone Clash, so you can see one of them in person. But this is one that's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. So moving down here, this is another one that I might put outside next year. These are the Antinobis toweri. These are the Alajui Spring ones. They're all over Michigan. But I'll bring these to the class too. I'll bring probably a couple groups of these. Another one, another good day that I might try, Ameca Splendids. These are pretty good breeders for me. I've had this colony since 2019. So I've had this colony for 6 years. It's kind of thinned out a little bit over the last year or so, but still a pretty nice group of fish. Not going to really sell many of these for now, but I do want to kind of get a good group going. Get that group kind of picked up again. Um, I might do. Um, I might do the trout good idiots. Not sure yet. Um, and I'll show you these platies. And this tank is terrible. I meant to clean this, but I didn't. These platies did well outside. Like they didn't die or anything, but they didn't spawn either. I don't know why these don't spawn for me, but they just don't. Do you want to show you one other thing that's kind of cool? These have spawned again. These rainbow cichlids. I don't see any of the fry out right now, but the fry were out earlier. I did capture some of them, and I'll go show you some of the fry here in a minute. I've been every time these have spawned, I've been kind of capturing them and kind of trying to raise them myself, and I'm kind of slowly and surely getting enough to like submit for BAP. So, and then we'll go over here real quick and take a look. So, like I said, I have a couple groups of these. So I put the latest ones in here, and you're not going to see them probably. You might be able to. There's a tiny one right there. They're like really, really tiny. There's a bigger one in here that is like the oldest one. I might have to throw some food in there. And then there's like the middle ones here. And unfortunately, if I can find, I'm like one short of BAP points. I think there's 4 in here. And I need like one more. So tomorrow I'm going to have to, our meeting's on Thursday. So I'm going to have to see if there's a 5th one hiding out in here somewhere. Because if I can get 6, that's another fish that's, that I'm able to get to spawn. So, and it looks like the Cyprochromis dropped some more little fry too. You can see the little fry right there. So I think that was all the tub fish. Um, I've got a bunch more rocks, little stones that I need to make piles with. So that's gonna be one of my projects here in the next few weeks or so. All right, let's. All right, so let me go back here and see what we got. Oh, see, but still see the thing. Okay, yep. So Zen ordered IHOP. There's not a lot of IHOPs around here. I think it's because we have a lot of conies, which kind of take the place of IHOPs. But I think there's a few, but there's not like. I feel like when we go other places, there's a lot more of them. So she ordered husband ordered a chicken biscuit, and then she got a side of blueberry pancakes. It's not bad. Fish sticks and tater tots is no, that's fine. Haven't had that in years. So Benjamin's here. Welcome. I know that I'm a little bit late. So yeah, so we've reached 8:55. Let me know if you guys have any questions. We'll head in here in just a second, and then we'll kind of like wrap everything up. But let me know if you have any questions about tubbing season. Jonathan had chili dogs. Not bad. That's a staple of Metro Detroit is the chili dogs. So yeah, so I think let me take the camera inside, and then we'll go ahead and kind of wrap things up. So just give me another couple minutes, and we'll go inside. I think we've got, show you these two. I was showing you guys these in a while. We have these Colombian ramshorn snails that seem to, I think they have bred pretty well in here. I think there's definitely a few more. As we come outside here, you guys are going to see that we are now into the darkness. So definitely, definitely hit that time of year where it's got kind of dark. There's a cat that you probably can't see very well. All right, we're back. Let me see the. Take a look here at the chat real quick. Yeah, I said it would be snowing before we know it. Absolutely. So, no, it's just dark. That's all. Benjamin Peters, any tips for repairing a Rubbermaid stock tank crack? I would maybe, and this sounds, maybe, I don't know. I would try melting it back together. Honestly, I would try to get some plastic and try to melt it back together. If not that, I would try. I think Zen said the flex tape might work. And you might want to try. There's the putty too. There's like the waterproof putty that you can use to like attach corals and stuff like that. You could try that too. Those would be my three kind of go-to items. Yeah, I would like try to weld it together somehow. I don't know, like that would be like, I don't know. That's kind of the best thing I could think of. But yeah, like the flex tape's I've kind of had mixed results with it. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's not. So, so with that, I think some announcements. Like next week, I think we're going to talk about the Keystone Clash because that's coming up. We'll kind of talk about, me getting ready for the fish show, kind of the preparations I'm making, things like that. And then I don't think I'm going to stream on the 23rd. I think the 23rd, just because I'm going to be probably getting ready for the show because I've got a lot of work to do to get ready for that. Like I've got, I think I said in one of the earlier streams, like I signed up for 19 fish for the fish show, and I said I was going to bring water. So I've been kind of working to prepare for that journey. The 8 hours of driving water. So I've got buckets. The buckets are all ready. I just determined I needed basically 12 buckets. So I'm gonna have to buy a couple, but we're gonna try that, and then we've got to pack fish, got to pack stuff for the auction. I'm gonna bring some stuff for the auction for sure. So looking forward to that. I'm gonna be really kind of excited to see that, and I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been to a fish show in quite a while. So we're gonna talk about the Clash and kind of go from there. So then obviously I've got to prep videos and stuff to make sure I'm kind of ahead, which I am. I'm already pretty good. But I try to keep it at least kind of like 4 to 6 videos ahead if I can. It just makes life a little easier. Like if life happens, you get sick or whatever, you're not like, you don't have like the gun to your head. Hey, I got to do a video like right now. So, so with that, I think we're going to call it. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Hope you kind of enjoyed talking about tubbing season, and I think we kind of did a good topic of what you had for dinner. Maybe we'll continue that in the next stream as well. So have a great week, everyone, and I will catch you out and about. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday.